Hello and welcome, Woodrow Wilson 5th grade friends and family. This is Miss Fields here, and I'm joining you for our 6th episode of Math Toolbox. The focus of our instructional video today will be on applying the standard algorithm to multi-digit multiplication problems. Now, for the sake of simplicity for this video, we won't be analyzing any word problems. However, I will be spelling out step-by-step strategies and tips for how to solve standard algorithm multiplication problems with just the numbers themselves. Now, this skill, multi-digit multiplication, is a skill in which our 5th grade mathematicians are expected to be fluent at by the end of the year. And by fluent, I mean that whenever they encounter one of these problems, they're expected to be able to do it quickly and also accurately. So let's get started. So typically, whenever a 5th grader will encounter a problem to apply a standard algorithm, you're going to usually see a 2x2 multiplication problem, sometimes 3x2, but for the most part, it's going to be 2x2. And I mean 2x2 by there's 2 digits on the number on top, and there's 2 digits on the number on the bottom. Now, standard algorithm differs from box method, which is our way of using the distributive property, in that the numbers are stacked on top of each other, and the solution and the partial products are below and need to be added. So in looking at our first step in this problem, I'm seeing that I need to multiply from right to left. So your first step, whenever you multiply using the standard algorithm, you're going to look at the number in the ones place on the number below, and you're going to multiply it with the number in the ones place in the number above. So in 36, 6 is in the ones place. In 27, 7 is in the ones place. Next, you multiply the 6 and the 7. Now I know in my mind 6 times 7 is 42. However, for my 5th graders that are a little shaky on math facts, no shame there. You need to use your resources. So in previous instructional videos, I explained how to use your multiplication chart. I highly recommend using this strategy in order to ensure your accuracy in doing this skill. In addition to using your multiplication chart, I want to make sure that 5th graders are 100% organized with their work whenever they're solving using a standard algorithm. This is the biggest pitfall of this type of problem solving, especially when it comes to carrying numbers. Now, if we remember, just a couple seconds ago, I said we were multiplying 6 times 7. Now that is 42. The number that's the smallest doesn't always go on top, and in this instance, 42, the 2 is held below, and the 4 is carried. Now our next step is we are going to multiply our ones place in the 27 with our tens place of the 36. We go diagonal. Now, if you're solving this problem on paper, I would recommend that you actually trace out each step with circles. So you know 6 times 7 goes first, and also 3 times 7 goes next. Use different colors to help keep your work organized. Now, next step, we're multiplying 3 times 7, which is 21, but don't forget, you need to add in this 4. So in your mind, you know 3 times 7 is 21, but plus 4, that is 25. And that's exactly what you write below. Your first step in solving standard algorithm is complete. Now, I always recommend to my 5th graders, especially in class when we're practicing this skill, that before you even start multiplying in the next part of this process, you need to do 2 things. First, you need to cross off your work so that you don't get confused with this carried 4. And you also need to put a 0 in your placeholder, because in this second step, you're no longer multiplying just by 2, you're actually multiplying by 20, because the 2 in this 27 is 20. So technically, you're multiplying 20 times 6 and 20 times 3. Again, to keep your work organized, I would recommend that you use different colors to track your work, because in this first step, after adding the placeholder, I know I need to multiply my 6 and my 2, so I would circle it. I would put down my 2 from the 12 because 6 times 2 is 12, and then I would carry my 1. Now your next step after that is you're going to multiply your 3 by your 2. Again, I would recommend that you circle this out so that you remember what to do. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Now, I'm sure some of you are thinking, okay, Ms. Fields, I've got 252 and I've got 720. What do I do next? How do I know what the product is? Just like in box method, you have to add the partial products in order to get the final product. So that's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to add these numbers up. Note, though, that each of these numbers is perfectly lined up according to its place value, ones, tens, and hundreds. This is essential to getting an accurate product. You have to make sure that you're organized with your work and also that you add with accuracy. Next step, add your add sign, your addition sign, excuse me. Put your line down so that you're keeping your partial products from your final product. You're going to add 2 plus 0, that is 2. You're going to add 5 plus 2, which is 7. And you're going to add 2 plus 7, which is 9. 972 is your final product. It is the product of 36 times 27. Now I know in this video I don't have it explicitly lined out that we've stated our solution, but our 5th graders know that whenever you solve a problem, you state your solution. So what we would write here would be 36 times 27 equals 972. Now for some of you guys who took your time and you made sure that you multiplied with accuracy, you know that your product is 100% correct, and you could just check it using a calculator. However, if you don't have access to a calculator, what I would recommend is that you use another strategy of multiplication to double check that you got a precise answer. In this instance, if I use standard algorithm, I would 100% recommend that our 5th graders use box method to make sure that their products are precise. If that is the case, you would also get 972 as your final product. Thank you so much, 5th graders and families, for joining me tonight. I want to restate that multi-digit multiplication is a skill that we will use for the rest of the year, and it is a skill that 5th graders are expected to be fluent on by the end of the year. So if this is something that you're struggling with, please watch and rewatch our video, and I will be happy to help you in class as well to get better at this skill. Have a great night, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow in class.